The HSBC Women's World Championship, part of the race to the CME Globe.
It's not only in the equine sports where bloodlines and pedigree provide the DNA for success. And if confirmation of that was needed, the name Korda will do that for you. Tennis championships at the highest level have carried on from one generation to the next, but now it's mainly in golf where this remarkable family shines. Today in Singapore, 19-year-old Nelly Korda has the opportunity to add to the family's legacy. She takes a one-shot lead into Sunday. And who'll be just ahead, striving to take the title from her? Who else but big sister and best friend Jess, still riding high after her Thailand victory a week ago. But this one is not purely a family affair, far from it. Canada's 20-year-old powerhouse Brooke Henderson charged into contention with a sizzling Saturday 65. She and Australia's Minjee Lee, already in great form this year, are poised to attack if the sister act hits turbulence. And so is Michelle Wie, who led the field into Sunday 12 months ago. The former US Open champion possesses not only the talent, but the steel required to capture a crown like this. So it's Sunday, the day where the illustrious honour roll will most likely have a 10th different champion added. And maybe one of the most talented sporting families on the planet will have to find space at home for yet another coveted trophy, one way or the other.
It is Super Sunday at Sentosa Golf Club, and we are delighted to be here for the final round of the HSBC Women's World Championship. Kate Burton alongside me, Ali Whittaker. And Ali, everybody is playing for this magnificent trophy, but it's Nelly Korda who is the closest player to it. That slender one-shot lead she has going into today's round.
And wouldn't it be a story if she did, matching the history made by Annika Sorensen and Charlotta Sorensen back in 2000, the only two sisters ever to win on tour. Coincidentally, they did it in consecutive weeks as well. So that's what we're looking at here with Jess winning last week. It would be pretty fun.
It'd be a great story. And to think that she is just 19 years old. They are making headlines, the Kordas. We know about the whole family, how successful they are. And Nelly said last night, I am a little bit nervous. I will have a chat with my parents. What kind of conversation do you think they would have had? I know you weren't there.
No, I wasn't listening in creepily on the phone, but I will say that Nelly's the kind of girl that she's just kind of taken in her stride. She knows that if she keeps putting herself in this position like she did last week, she shot 65 on day 3 last week and just fell by the wayside shooting level par on the final round. So the more time she puts herself there, the more comfortable she'll get, and eventually she's going to win. She's just that talented.
So good, so long, and just impressing everybody, all the galleries of which there are significant people coming through the gates this morning. It's going to be a really interesting final day. But the contenders, Danielle Kang goes into the final round one shot off the pace, won a major championship last year, and winning is habit forming. You want more of it.
She does, and you know, I think you could tell that it really sparked a fire for her winning the KPMG Women's PGA Championship last year after 122 starts on tour. So she might have to wait a little less for number 2, but realistically, she's doing all of the right things. She's playing really aggressive golf as well. She needs to keep doing that today. That's key for her.
How do you fancy 9 putts on the back 9?
That sounds pretty good to me.
Oh, well, that's what Brooke Henderson did en route to putting herself in contention. She's a 5-time winner on the LPGA Tour, always a threat, an explosive game.
She is, and she's got a good record, tying for 4th here last year. And realistically, again, Brooke, she needs to hit more greens. She only hit 12 greens yesterday, so that's why, part and parcel, why she had less putts than the majority of the players. But that 65 was a bit of a statement yesterday, and I think she's definitely a player to watch. I will be surprised if the winner doesn't come from that final group.
Or potentially Minjee Lee, but it is Nelly Korda who is nudging ever closer to her first win on the LPGA. Let's join commentary now with Peter Donegan.
Well, Kate, if we have anything like we had last year with the drama of Inby Park's last round charge, we are in for a treat. Is it going to be the leader who will hang on, or are they going to mount a challenge and come from the clouds to capture this prestigious trophy in Singapore? All will unfold over the next 4 hours here at Sentosa Golf Club. And what a day we had yesterday. So many of the top players coming to the fore. And after they did, this is what it looked like at the end of round 3. Nelly Korda the leader by 1 from Danielle Kang, and then a buffer for the 2 top players, Brooke Henderson and Minjee Lee, in a tie for 3rd. 4 back from the lead. Michelle Wee after a great 3rd round. Jess Korda up there, along with her little sister. Jin Young Ko came to the fore in days 2 and 3. And Marina Alex is there at 10 under. Perhaps these players might be a little bit too far back, but perhaps someone can start a charge, and I can tell you there have been some charges coming. Will it come from the former world number 1, Lydia Ko, or a past winner in Hannah Jang? It's hot, it's steamy, and Sandy McKenzie, I think the action's going to be hot too.
The action will be hot, Pete, and I can tell you at the moment it's absolutely baking out here, very humid. Again, mostly cloudy, but we've got a lot of blue sky at the moment, so the sun is poking through. Top temperature of 31, humidity is up 88%, so it's going to be a tough day, but what an exciting one.
All the best players in the world are here. 19 of the top 20, and many of them are in contention for the title. Kate and Ali have joined me to look at the stars.
And what a fabulous 3-ball we have here. Minjee Lee playing her 5th event on the bounce. Michelle Wee looking for her first win since the US Open in 2014. And Jin Young Ko, a winner this year at the Australian Open. 2 wins already in her young career on the LPGA Tour.
And it's not often you can say a 20-year-old is the most experienced player in a group when it comes to winning. Brooke Henderson, 5 wins. Danielle Kang, just the 1. And Nelly still looking for a maiden title on the LPGA. Can she do it today?
So then, we've got a lot to look forward to, and in particular, we've got something to look forward to right here, because this is the hot player on the golf course. Se Young Kim has been tearing this place apart. This is a second shot to the 3rd hole, and setting up the possibility of another birdie, and that would take her to 9 under par for the day, if you don't mind, through 12 holes. And so a course record is very much on the cards for Se Young Kim. There has been a lot happening, even apart from Se Young's brilliant round, so let's have a look at some of the moments that have mattered so far. A past champion, 2012, Angela Stanford, this her second shot to 5. She started at 4 under, 11 shots back from the lead, but she's made significant inroads too. And Angela Stanford coming with a rush.
Brooke Henderson, after that dazzling back 9, 4 off the pace going into the final round, looking to close that gap. And that's the way to do it. The difference between her and the leader, just 3 shots.
Michelle Wee's been pretty spectacular from the fairways, well over 70%, in fact nearly 80% in greens in regulation. That makes putting easy. That was for birdie on the 2nd.
Chella Choi has had a very good ball striking week. She co-leads the field in greens in regulation. Here she is with her 3rd shot at 5. She had one of those days where pars were the norm yesterday, but that would set up her 4th birdie of the day at the 5th hole.
Well, Danielle Kang relinquished the lead yesterday, gifted it to Nelly Korda, but looking to make amends in this final round. Started with a par, and this approach at the 2nd, a very good approach and a birdie for Danielle Kang.
And the early move from the Canadian continued this morning after the birdie on 1, past the pin on 2. Not normally a place you'd want to be, but rolled that one in for 2 in a row, Brooke Henderson.
Se Young Kim, we've talked about the round that she's having, out in 29 and then playing the first, her 10th, 15 feet, not a problem. And she could not miss.
It was a drop shot on the 2nd hole for Marina Alex, so looking to make amends and put some red numbers on the card. And that opportunity came at this 4th hole, the par 3. Excellent 2 from Alex.
on the par 5 fifth hole. 490 yards today. Only an iron required from Charlie Hull. She'd made birdie on the 4th and then set this one up on the 5th. It got better by the 2nd, and she'd roll that in for eagle, 3 under in 2 holes.
And speaking of the 5th, the former world #1, Lydia Ko. Nice little string put together for the great champion from New Zealand. Birdie 2, birdie 3, birdie 4, and just about stone dead. And that was 4 birdies on the bounce for Lids.
On the 9th hole, how about this for Angela Stanford? That putt was to go out in 29. Woo, talk about making a charge on the final day.
Jin Young Ko also got the message. She started actually with an early bogey, but then she fought her way back into it, making a birdie on 3. The birdie next on 4.
So interestingly, with all these birdies going on behind them, the players at the top needed to make some of their own, and Danielle Kang was able to do that. A birdie at the 2nd, then that one at the 4th, and she has now found herself at the top of the leaderboard. Here's another birdie chance for Se Young Kim after that great approach at the 3rd. This to go 9 under par for the day through 12 holes. She might not only break the course record, she might shatter the course record, and dare we say it, that number might be a possibility. That famous number of 60. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on at the top of the leaderboard. Danielle Kang has picked up 2 and now leads by 1. It's been a steady start from Nelly Corder. Pars all the way so far for the 19-year-old. Brooke Henderson's picked up a couple. What a charge from Angela Stanford. What a charge from Se Young Kim. And Charlie, Minji and Michelle haven't been left behind either. Jess Corder and even par losing ground to the rest of the field. Danielle Kang, the 25-year-old from the United States, is the leader. The action already hot on the final day at Sentosa Golf Club in Singapore.
Jessica Corder with a chance of a birdie. Made that Nelly Corder with a chance for an eagle on the 5th hole to take the outright lead.
Played a superb iron in here. It actually looked even closer than that.
Wow. Pete, we're talking about this remarkable score of Se Young Kim, and I'm just looking at the scoring on the front 9, which she's embarking on. Only 1 hole is playing at its par. The others are playing below their par. So it's there for the taking.
Red numbers and big red numbers it's going to take. Jin Young Ko at the 6th looks away pretty quickly. And that's the reason why, with that club in hand, she would have been looking inside 10 feet. Now she's got 35 to cope with. She's just picked up the 1 shot today, so she needs to step on the gas, something that Se Young Kim's been able to do.
I think she owns a gas station today. What a stunning performance. Started the day at 2 under par and now in double digits and then some.
I know that Alexis Abraham and Christina Lance, who are the brilliant media officers from the LPGA, will be working very hard to get us some good numbers. And she's going to crack into the history books. What's the lowest score? I believe it's a 61 from Hyoju Kim at the Evian Championship. But I know Lexi shot a 61 as well.
Brooke Henderson's picked up a couple already. It's tracking. Was never going to miss.
Danielle Kang for her birdie on the 5th. Nelly Corder in fairly close for her birdie. This was a good effort, but Nelly Corder will have a chance to catch her.
Little par save required for Angela Stanford. 8 under par today. You have to check the scores to make sure you're getting it right. It sounds like a total score at the end of the week.
First birdie perhaps for our overnight leader. Putting through a shadow. But no difficulties, and finally a red number on the card, so she goes back into the joint lead. It's Kang and Corder at the top.
And a good stretch of holes for Nelly Corder coming up. Put together a string of pars yesterday and then reeled off 3 consecutive birdies. So start to feel comfortable around this point.
Could she make it another one? Could she go -10 for the day?
Close. But having a look in the very good LPGA Media Guide, of course, Annika Sorenstam, a 59, 13 under par at the Standard Registered Ping Championship. That was back in 2001.
We've had a few history makers already this year, or at least history levelers. Jin Young Ko won in her first event as an LPGA member. She won in Korea last year, but she wasn't yet a member of the tour. So first woman in, I believe, about 60 years to do that.
She might be taking a leaf out of Inby. A couple of years or 3 years ago when Inby won, she looked as though she could have been playing at Wimbledon, came out in the all white, and Jin Young's done something similar today. Nice tidy par for Danielle. 2 under par after 5 holes, just the start she wanted. There's that bounce and spring in her step that was there on Friday and for most of Saturday.
Always a pleasure to watch this player, Ataya Titikul. Get used to hearing and seeing her name and her brilliant golf swing, but she moves to 10 under par. She's an amateur, she's 15, is that right?
Well, it seems to be, but you wouldn't think so looking at her and the composure that she shows and the game she's got.
Remarkable.
To get to 13 under, Michelle Wee. Steady progress, 2 under for the day. Just 2 birdies on the card.
And the good thing is she made a 5 at the 5th. Remember what happened 12 months ago when she was in the lead and she had 4 putts from nowhere on 5, and that ended her day. 12 months down the track, she's in the fight. There's Minjee's numbers for the week. 25 putts in the second round, up to 30 yesterday. But that number accentuated by the fact that she hit 12 greens on Friday and 16 greens yesterday.
And what you can take from that, that's 66 hitting 12 greens. When she hit them close.
Yeah. But this is a big putt in the scheme of her round. Now she finds herself 5 shots adrift of the lead, and it's going to be very difficult to make those up, even with her ability to make red numbers. And like most of the players out there, she's made the majority of her score on the front 9. She's -8 for the front 9, -3 for the back 9. So she leaves 6, and we're going to examine it as they come all the way up the hill.
And even though it's not a very long hole at just 347 yards, it is difficult. It's tricky off the tee because it's not a very big landing area. A lot of players have laked it out to the right-hand side, so coming in from that fluffy rough. And if you do that, it is incredibly difficult to get any control on this slick green. And a lot of players running through to the back of the green, and then you're faced with a downhill putt, which you want to avoid.
Well, it was very calm conditions here 10 minutes ago, but the breeze has certainly sprung up. It's coming into them from the right, and Brooke is taking this out to the right towards the bunkers. Will possibly clear it, but I doubt if it'll make the fairway.
Brooke Henderson's 2 back from the lead at the moment. I'll give you a number that indicates to me that she can win this golf tournament. Unlike most of the rest of the field who've made their score on the front 9, Brooke is -2 for the front 9, -9 for the back 9.
Bodes well, plays into her hands. This course set up today is playing into the hands of Angela Stanford, who's having a rip-roaring round. Out in 29, 8 under par. That's just for the round. 12 under for the championship.
Breeze is picking up from that right. Now starting it towards the centre, drawing back towards the left-hand side. Just might miss the very edge of the fairway.
But a pretty classy angle coming into that whole location. We'll have a lot more green to work with if you were on the right-hand side of the fairway. The left is much better.
Magic number at 7 today is 178 yards. It's 167 front. The pin's 11 on, 6 from the left. And Jing Young Ko has got it almost perfect distance and has a look at another birdie to get herself within 4 shots of the lead. We've got 11 players within 5 of the lead as it stands at the moment.
Electing to take it down this right-hand side as well into the breeze. It'll miss the bunker. It'll be okay. Fairway back, though, and not an easy angle.
I wonder how much time she spent in the rough today, say Young Kim. Probably not a lot. At 9 under par for the round. Settle down. Up by the green in 2 on the par 5 fifth, but still a little bit of work left to do. Not the easiest up and down coming.
This isn't an easy tee shot. Need to get the wind just right. Very exposed on that elevated tee.
It's strange how the 7th plays, because when the pin's on the left, it's actually a bit of an easier hole because it doesn't draw you down that right collection area.
Can't help but thinking that bogey she made at the previous hole might nearly rule her out. But if she comes up with shots like that and gets it back straight away, that may be judging things a little bit too quickly. Great response from the native of Western Australia. Been a popular spot in there this week.
Look at the swing. That's a very clever shot from Charlie Hull. He's already had an eagle at the 5th hole and a birdie at the 4th. And so the English player moves to 12 under par and finds herself just 4 shots back of the lead. Look at the scoring today. Angela Stanford, Se Young Kim tearing this new Tangzhou course apart, but will that be enough for them? Will Nelly Corder and Danielle Kang fight it out?
On the upslope here for Danielle Kang. 105 to get it to the front, but she actually needs about 115 to carry the bunkers. She's coming in from this right-hand side, so it does bring those bunkers into play. Full number is 129 to the pin. Plenty of breeze into her and from the right. Now it's hanging a little bit. You cannot see it from down here.
Probably about 20 feet underneath the hole, just a little right, Sandy. So we'll check in back at 6 in a moment. Let's move ahead to 12 and see what Angela Stanford can come up with at one of the more difficult holes on the golf course. Well, she nearly came up with something she's been coming up with all day. It is the hardest hole on the golf course, and she's nearly drained that down the step from about 45, 50 feet. Back to Nelly at 6.
9-iron for Nelly. She's got this just leaking a little bit to the right. Brooke has got to drive up onto this flatter area. She's only on that first cut of rough there. 115 to get it to the flag. Little gust of breeze just blowing up as she's over the ball. Low ball flight, punching that in. It's looking pretty good from down here.
Excellent result. Another birdie chance coming.
At the 498-yard par 5, this is Lydia Ko for an eagle. Has to go down a bit of a slope. Oh, hello. That's what we used to seeing Lydia Ko do. And she's making a bit of a serious move today. Danielle Kang, this for a birdie on the 6th hole. Has made a few good ones already today. She's been hitting them very firmly.
She looked very relaxed. I came out in the bus with Danielle this morning and had the earbuds in, just had the playlist going and trying to chill out before the pressure of the final round. Jin Young Ko to get to within 4 of the lead. There's another one. And the winner from Australia a couple of weeks ago, making a charge of her own.
She was supposed to go home after the Australian Open back to her native South Korea, but hasn't been home because winning, getting a spot in Thailand, then in Singapore. It's upset the bank account.
Good chance here for Nelly Corder to break away again. Let's go back-to-back birdies. Just coming off a bit of a higher level, slightly downhill.
I loved her honesty in the interview yesterday after her round when she said, yeah, I will be nervous, because a lot of players try to convince themselves that they're not. And then it plays on their mind, because you'd be something other than human if you're not nervous going into the final round of a big tournament. What's the expression? Feel comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes, I don't think it ever gets easy. But it's what these players all play for and practice for day in, day out, to have these opportunities to win. And it's tough to win on the LPGA Tour. Look at the depth, look at the margin that separates the #1 player in the world, Shan Shanfeng, down to number 6 player in the Rolex rankings. It's hardly anything. You're going to see a lot of change at the top.
And we just saw Minjee Lee make that 2, so she got the shot back. She dropped immediately at 6. And here's another chance for the Canadian.
Gives Brooke a chance too to sneak just one behind these two leaders. She's had the chance to have a little bit of a look at how Nelly Corder's ball rolled. Similar line. This is a really good chance here with the other two just making pars here.
She had 9 putts on the back 9 yesterday, Sandy. You ever done that?
No, in my dreams, Pete, that would be about the extent of it. That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Almost incredible.
And we know how hot Brooke Henderson can be. She's only got to get something just to get her going, and she can string birdie after birdie.
Dead straight, as our worm's eye view told us. Brooke seeing it coming a little from her left. No harm done though. She's still only 2 shots back. Started the day 4 back. Danielle stays in a share of the lead with Nelly.
Many hot players on the golf course. This is one of them, Angela Stanford. Oh, unfortunate. Gobbled up by that bunker. Playing a little bit longer today.
And let's hope we don't see a repetition of the weather the year that she won, 2012. Had the storm to end all storms at the end of the round that year.
Yeah, resulted in a playoff. It was a long time determining the winner. That is Angela Stanford, the champion in 2012. And this is a player. I was having a chat with Dean Hurd, Jin Young Ko's caddy this morning. He said he hasn't seen such good ball striking, literally bisecting every fairway, hitting every green.
How about the 7th? It's 178, the exact number today.
Well, if you can hit the green, half the job's done, really, because once you get on the putting surface, it's not that difficult, but really that bunker on the left-hand side, guarding the flag today, a big drop-off over on that right-hand side, won't come into play as much today as previous days, so really anything on that front third of the green is a very holeable putt.
And we saw Minjee Lee just knock it pretty well stiff at the 7th to be one of the 4 players who've made their birdie at that hole. Angela Stanford is amongst the others. Jenny Shin and Shan Chan Feng have also managed to do it at 7.
Up 174 yards here. The wind is actually coming from their left and with them, so it really brings that left bunker, front bunker into play. Even tucked right over there, just 6 from the bunker. Is playing 184 today. That's coming right back on the flag now, drifting a little bit right with the breeze. Coming up shy.
Pins on 11, so she's got 30 feet.
That's a great swing. Been working for many years with her coach Richie Smith, who looks after a number of players, including her brother Min Woo Lee. She, at the beginning of the year, wanted to break into the top 10 on the world rankings, Minjee. She reset that goal to the top 6.
It's a 7-iron for Nelly Corder. Now starting that right, wind is just pushing it a little further right towards the centre of the green.
Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, it's fine, it's commercial.
Very good.
Did you see her reaction after the shot there? Remember the first winner of this tournament, Lorena Ochoa, with the little recoil that she had? There's a bit of Lorena in that.
I certainly did. Lorena had the chance this week to play with Jordan Spieth a few holes. They both enjoyed that experience. Lydia Ko jumping up the leaderboard. 13 under, 3 off the pace, and it's been a while since she's entered the winner's circle. A couple of years ago, didn't win last year, mid-June of 2016.
Now that was interesting because Nelly Corder hit 7 and Danielle Kang hit 5.
And it worked because she's nearly hole high. Just recapping those people who've made their 2s, Jin Young Ko, Angela Stanford and Lizette Salas are the ones who've made their 2s at the 7th before Minjee Lee. Ahead at 9, second for Charlie Hull. 14 on in the centre. Not thrilled. That's why. But not the worst miss you've ever seen.
I think the club just dug in, and it does it so much on this zoysia grass. There's 2 types of zoysia out on the golf course, and if you go in with a steep leading edge and dig in, it really goes pretty far underground. Chance here for Jess Corder. Oh, in it goes. Another player making a move. And look at that, nice little last 4 holes there for Big Sister.
Had her confidence shaken by the start with a bogey of the first, but she's recovered brilliantly.
Looking to recover would be Angela Stanford out of this bunker to get up and down and continue this mighty assault on the new Tangjong course. Well, it's not going to be so easy, though.
They are definitely going to have to refill that bunker with sand at 13. It's had a fair old workout this week on the first of the par 5s on the back 9. Nelly and Danielle locked at the top at 16 under. The 19-year-old Nelly Corder had a 1-shot advantage going into the round. Brooke Henderson has cut the deficit between herself and the leader from 4 to 2. Lydia Ko 6 under. And yes, you are seeing correctly, Se Young Kim 10 under par through 14 holes. Will she be able to keep the charge going? It is the 2 Americans at the top of the leaderboard in the final round of the HSBC Women's World Championship.
Daniel Kang tied for the lead with Nelly Corder. This for a birdie. Just lets an opportunity slide by.
Hannah Zhang having a look and keeping cool.
Even by Singapore standards, it is very humid today.
It certainly is.
All right, par for Brooke. She remains -3.
Although I did ask Nelly Corder and Jess Corder, which is the hottest tournament of the whole year, Malaysia. For them, Sime Darby LPGA Malaysia will be played later in the second swing of the Asian leg.
Well, Jess obviously likes the heat because she's won there. How about this from Jin Young Ko?
It's hard to work out what kind of day this is going to shape up to be. Obviously, you know, usually by this point in time we have a clear story emerging, but it's still up for grabs. And this is a woman that's certainly inserted herself into the picture.
Sorry, Stu, I'm not understanding a word you're saying, man. It's very muffled.
Angela makes her par at 13 and remains at -11. And now Jin Young, after we saw that shot just a moment ago, putting it up stone dead. Another tap in, another birdie, another step closer to the lead at 13 under. She's 3 back. We know what she can do. She showed us that not only in Adelaide, but she showed us in tremendous heat in front of her home nation. And when I talk about heat, I talk about pressure in Korea when she won last year.
In would be a bonus, close would be lovely for Minjee Lee. And that's beautifully done. So almost guaranteed back-to-back birdies.
Under for Minjee Lee. Well, when you think it's Se Young Kim and Angela Stanford who are owning this golf course, So Yeon Yu is 8 under par for the day. She's currently playing the 16th hole, but the former world #1 having a cracker.
8 under par with a bogey.
But in comparative terms, just slacking off really compared to, say, young Kim, who may very well go -11 for the day with this putt, and everybody has missed that putt on the left.
It is so mentally difficult to be that hard, that far under par. You often become very self-aware once you see your name rising up onto the leaderboard when it was unexpected.
Breeze should be into them at 8. And there's a good illustration of the slope of the fairway. She was almost heading for the rough at one stage on the right and finishes up closer to the left rough.
Sets herself up nicely for the approach. Chance to get on in 2. Say, Matt, don't fall back because it's a steep slope. Where her caddy was standing a moment ago, but a very good putt for Michelle Wee. It's game on. Anybody's game.
Well, you'd have to think we've got seriously 10 chances at the moment of winning this golf tournament. A little anxious look from Nelly as she takes it right down the centre of the fairway, lands it on the cut line. Maybe she was concerned that she was going to hit 4 inches either way of the centre.
She's a long way back from Brooke, maybe a bit of a misstrike as well. Second into 11 from a long way back again for Chella Choi. Oh, but that doesn't matter. How good was that shot?
Very classy.
And that's a putt to go 5 under for the day. This is crazy.
Beauty.
The members of Sentosa Golf Club will be inspired by the deeds of these players. That next monthly medal, they're going to maybe delusions of grandeur.
We might need to be handing some monthly medals out today. The way that, say, Young Kim, So Yeon Yu, Angela Stanford are all playing. Throw Amy Yang in the mix as well. She's 7 under par for the round.
So all of those people at the top of the leaderboard need to keep making birdies because the charges are coming. And let's have a look at some of those moments from the first hour of our coverage and how many highlights have there been. Let's recap some of them. Second shot at the third for Se Young Kim. We've already documented what she's been able to do. Out in 7 under par, she made a birdie at the first to get to 8 under, and that made it 9 under for the day.
The overnight leader, Nelly Korda, had this opportunity for an eagle at the 5th hole to extend her lead. That didn't go in, but it was a tap-in birdie for Nelly. Her first of the day to get to 16 under for the championship.
Brooke Henderson started the day at 11 under par. It doesn't seem to matter where you started the day here on Sunday. And that was for birdie on 5, her 3rd birdie of her round.
Minjee Lee had just made a bogey at 6, so it was important with everything that was going on around her that she bounced back quickly. Well, how about the very next hole? Will that do? It would certainly do. Brilliant tee shot from the Australian, and she went on to pick up the shot she just dropped.
4 birdies on the front 9 for the former world #1 Lydia Ko, and then this eagle opportunity at the 8th. How about that? 6 under through 8 holes, and Lydia Ko leaps into contention at 13 under.
Se Young Kim was so far back at the start of the day that she started on the 10th hole, literally 11 groups off the first. She was the first out off 10. It didn't seem to bother her at all. That was for birdie on 5, her 14th.
And Jin Young Ko was another getting in the queue After making bogey at the first, she got aboard the birdie train at 3 and 4, and there was another one at the short 7th.
You need eagles to keep in touch with the lead, and this is Jessica Corder, even par for the day to this point. And this slick putt down the green on the 8th hole, trying to get ever closer. And in!
The third shot for Jin Young Ko on the par 5 after making that birdie on 7 down the slope. Nearly in, but it was good enough for a tap-in birdie. She finds herself at 3 under par for the round, 13 under total.
Well, we are being spoilt for birdies and eagles. Every eagle money will be donated by CME Group, $1,000, so good on them. But have a look at this leaderboard. It really is anyone's game. Se-Young Kim, 10 under par through 15 holes, has a chance to shoot a number in the low 60s. Wouldn't that be exciting? We still don't know who's going to win. It's congested at the top. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be an absolute thriller in Singapore. The 4 top players in the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings are separated by less than 0.8 of a point. Now, there are several scenarios that could play out today. But Lexi Thompson has a mathematical chance to move to number 1. She would finish 19th or better. But that does obviously depend on where Shan Feng and Sun Hyung Park finish. What we do know is that we are spoiled for talent on the LPGA Tour. So much depth. And it wasn't that long ago that Lydia Ko had a commanding 6-point lead over her nearest contender. But Lexi doesn't look like that's going to happen today, currently in 39th position.
That's in good shape as well.
Really like this 8th hole.
Yeah.
It's an uphill climb all the way. Got to be careful of the bunkers on the left. She's taking those fairly tight, but it'll be absolutely fine.
Awkward stance for Se-Young Kim. And a very tough up and down.
Oh, please. Oh, we want to be rewarded. We want to be dazzled with a low number. She's 10 under par for the round, so par's all the way in. It's certainly a new course record of 62. Needs to hold that putt.
Michelle just hitting one of these low left to right shots up this 9th hole, and that'll come out to the middle of the fairway.
I love the reaction of the gallery too when Michelle gets those ones going. It's whoa. That translation, I wish I could do that. At 8. A little chip for Nelly to get up and down and to perhaps take the lead. Using the ridge to her own advantage. She won't be thrilled with that.
.129 for Michelle Wee. Now this is looking good. It's just left of the flag, but she looks good for distance.
She's still in the conversation, don't worry. Especially if she can hold that and get it to -14. Our leader is at -16. Our leaders, I should say.
Well, Angela Stanford now in a tie for 8th. 8 under par for the day. Oh, look at the back end of that front 9. It's dreamy stuff.
It's not often you have two 29s in action on the golf course. Really difficult shot here to commit to. Need to be aggressive from the sound. Usually not an issue for Danielle Kang. Pick a spot and almost pretend that there's a lip there. Easy to decelerate. No, it'll take the ridge.
Well, you wouldn't think birdies would be certain for either of our two leaders. We'll come back to that at the 8th in a moment. Let's have a look at Jin Young Ko coming up the hill with a second to 9.
129, Pete, needs to carry at 125 to get up that ridge. Oh, now that's borderline.
Run up and mark it.
I don't know if that's going to help.
No, she's not that quick. From 1 Ko. At 9, we go to a Kim.
Go on, go on, go on. Oh, it's the first drop shot.
But she is walking to the 8th.
Yes.
There's hope still for Se Young Kim, 9 under for the day.
Speaking of Ko's, Lydia. Oh, she's got it going, rekindling a bit of the old feelings. She's got herself up to a tie for 3rd now. Where did she come from?
I saw her coach, Ted O, walking around today, and I said, how you doing? And he goes, I'm doing better, we're hitting fairways. And I said, is that how you gauge your day, on how many fairways Lydia hits? And he says, I'm much happier this week than last week.
She's not just hitting fairways, she's hitting a lot of greens and canning all sorts of putts out in 30.
She hit 8 fairways on Thursday, 11 on Friday, 12 yesterday. There's another piece of magic from Jin Young Ko, who even when she finds a bit of bother, is finding a way to get herself out of it.
Now, interesting, you know, we talked about what's printed on the golf balls of various players. Jin Young has positive written in script. It's obviously printed before she gets the golf ball. She's got positive written on it. We've got XOs from Danielle Kang. We've got NK for Nelly Corder. She had to write her name on it, otherwise Jess might have thought it was hers, or Sebastian. There's so many of them.
That was a lovely try from Brooke Henderson, another player who is very much in the hunt. She's only 2 back, and that is still a birdie opportunity for Henderson to close that gap.
She's doing very well, considering she got the kiss of death in our pre-show, the live at pre-show this morning.
No, you haven't backed her, have you?
I thought she could win just looking at those stats, the separation of the front 9 and the back 9. But anyway, I'm terribly sorry for Brooke.
Well, there's 3 sets of eyes in the commentary box, and we're going to need them. We've got a few computer terminals here, scoring, statistics being thrown at us. And going to need to get your finger on the pulse just to understand where everybody's coming from.
Well, I keep seeing spots before my eyes, Kate, as we look at our computerised scoring, because when there's an eagle on our computer scoring, it comes up as a yellow dot, and I feel like I need to see a doctor. There's yellow everywhere on our computerised scoring. Michelle hasn't got one of those yet, but there are a couple of opportunities to come on the back 9. In fact, there might be 3 because of the tee being up at 14.
Chance missed for Nelly.
She's having a bit of a day similar to the one that Danielle Kang had yesterday. She shot 70. Nothing really caught fire for her, but we keep on looking and we keep on seeing her name up at the top of the leaderboard. Angela Stanford is climbing up there. In all likelihood, she's going to run out of holes, but this is for another birdie. Oh, come off it. Now she's just showing off. This is incredible.
8 under for the day. 12 under, 4 back.
Make that 9 now.
Is that 9? I'll tell you what. And this, even though it's not the lowest score on the golf course today, is for the outright lead.
This reminds me a little bit of the Tour de France. The two leaders have done the breakaway, done all the work, and the peloton is just charging and charging and working together and getting closer. The birdie at 9.
Minjee Lee part of that peloton. And she is non-stop. 5th event on the bounce for Minjee Lee, and certainly showing no signs of fatigue.
5th event on the bounce, and she hasn't finished outside the top 5 yet. Why wouldn't you keep playing?
Including a win in the Vic Open at beautiful 13th Beach down on the Bellarine Peninsula in Victoria in Australia. Brooke Henderson is rolling them in today. And now she is just 1 back from the lead. So remember what she's done on the other half of the golf course this week. I'll give you some numbers. For the likes of Nelly Corder, she's 6 under for the back 9. Danielle Kang is 7 under for the back 9. Brooke Henderson is 9 under for the back 9. Minjee Lee has picked up only 3 on the other side of the golf course. So it's all turning out to be what is going to be a dramatic conclusion. It's Nelly Corder and Danielle Kang in the lead, but Brooke Henderson has made up 3 shots on the leaders on Sunday and is now just 1 back.
Minjee Lee just got a little bit of work to do with this second shot on the 10th. Just not being on the fairway just makes it a little bit more difficult to control the ball, and being only a small swing, getting spin wood is going to be always tough, but a sensible play.
Just a wedge for Nelly. 115. She's not going to bother about the drain. Needs to carry this 111 to get over the ridge. Yeah, does that easily. A little bit too much.
Straight over the top of the stick too, Sandy.
Looks like a good shot to me. Maybe just a hair.
Jin Young second at 10. She too firing at the stick. That is going to be very rapid from back there.
Not the best angle to come in from, needing to throw it way up in the air over the trees for Lydia Ko. That is amazing. What a shot. That green's hard to hit from the middle of the fairway, let alone over on 9 where she almost was.
Some shades of the old Lydia going on out there today. 7 under through 10 holes, and she is in contention for the win, just 2 back as we head back to 9.
Tight over on that left-hand side. Ball is quite considerably below her feet here. 136 for Danielle. The wind is in her back because it's blowing a little bit of gusty breeze left to right. Now that's got to get up. Not going to, and it should run back further. Oh, I think it's going to decide to stay there.
It's okay.
That's just about the area where Jess Corder had some difficulty with her chip yesterday, and we've seen a few players, Danielle included, having difficulty with chips from the aprons around the greens.
Watch this very steep takeaway. It's down hard. Hits down nicely. And another chance for Michelle Wee. Made the turn in 33, blemish-free, 3 under par so far.
A past champion, Hannah Jang, coming up the hill at 11. and playing a magnificent shot. Absolutely brilliant from the winner of 2 years ago. Might have to have another Beyonce dance standing by.
Oh, that is skinny as. That is going to fly over the flag. Really didn't catch that at all. That ball might need a bit of a change, I think.
She's one off the lead. Had a good chat with her dad last night, who is her coach, always has been. Gave some good words of advice. This is a difficult shot. No, it's not.
Not to her. Not the day she's having. She was probably in the rate marks there that Danielle Kang was in before. Had almost the identical shot and came up with a much better result. So we can just about put that one in the book, and that will be 11 under par for the day. Birdie at the last for a 60. In fact, that takes it a 10 under, I should say. So eagle at the last for a 60. It wouldn't put it past her.
You certainly wouldn't. But it's a par for a 62, which is a new tournament record. Currently stands at 64, and a birdie would be a 61. Wow.
61 around here. We thought Inby's 64 last year was something special, and it was. And you mentioned, Kate, the 61 that Hyo Joo Kim shot in the Evian Championship. That was the lowest score ever by a male or a female in a major championship at the time.
Yes, and it's a 59 from Annika Sorenstam, not in a major championship, but at the standard registered ping. But that was all the way back in 2001. There's been 4 61s on the LPGA Tour. Lexi Thompson, Anna Norquist, Brittany Lincecum and Hee-Won Han. And there have been 2 60s, one by Paula Creamer. That was a par 71.
We'll keep delving into the history books, but the present is very important too. 14 paces on is the pin here at 9, so this is 40 feet and then some for Danielle.
The first 10 paces of that, Peter, all uphill. And then it gets to the flat spot, still slightly uphill, but it does flatten out just the last 4. So it is the putt.
She probably felt as though she gave it a really good rap, but she's going to have to give the second one a good rap too. Pivotal moment coming, perhaps, up ahead. In light of what's going on at 9, this is important for Jin Young Ko, and she doesn't quite get it to the hole either.
No relation, but same last name. Been saying that a lot recently. For birdie to get to 15 under par for Lydia Ko. Go on. She's inserting herself into the picture quickly. That would have been a bit of a steal, really, from where she was off the tee over on that right-hand side.
Slippery, pretty quick for Brooke.
Fair bit of downhill. She's taking a lot of left to right in this putt.
And the one coming back is a very important putt in the scheme of her afternoon. Danielle Kang's got an important putt coming up too. Might look back on this moment as being a moment in the final round where things changed a bit. That's ahead of us.
Good effort from Minjee Lee.
And if history, recent history, this week is anything to go by, this is a period for the next hour where things will go into a little bit of a holding pattern, where it's important to make pars. There won't be a lot of birdies in the next hour because of the difficulty of the stretch.
Downhill, it's going to move left to right. It is quick, and now it needs to slow down.
Why can't all birdies be this range? Excellent approach on the 11th for the Energizer. She will march with a bit more of a spring in her step to the 12th.
And Michelle will have some spring in her step going to 11 if this goes in, and that was straight in the middle from the time it came off the putter face. 14 under, 2 back. And neither of our leaders are stone dead at 9, and that's where we head now. For par and to remain in a share of the lead. That's a clutch putt right there.
Gutsy.
Three clutch putts coming at 9. Thin with her second shot, Brooke Henderson, a little rush of blood down the hill with her first putt. Putt a bit longer than she is, probably about 6-7 feet. To stay within 1.
Got her putting boots on. 9 putts on yesterday's back 9, and that is another very impressive outward half for Henderson. 32, 1 back.
What a day Angela Stanford's having. And an opportunity maybe to improve that here on 16. Oh, look out! Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, she nearly holes it out for eagle. Incredible stuff.
Might be a tap-in for her to get to 10 under for the day. The same as Se Young Kim. Jin Young Ko. That par keeps her at 3 off the pace.
I just want to point out at this stage, to those of you at home, this golf course is not that easy.
And 2 of the clutch putts have made their way in, and Nelly Corder, who is, as we said, having one of those nearly days, loses a share of the lead with her first bogey of the day. Something has got to swing around for her, and she's coming to one of the toughest patches of the golf course.
I don't think there's a tough patch for Angela Stanford today.
Turning back the clock 6 years when she got her name on this trophy. Birdie 14, birdie 15, birdie 16 to add to everything that she's done earlier. The Texan's got that look in her eye. Drop that golf ball, Angela, it's too hot. It'll burn your fingers. And she gets herself up to 10 under par for the day. Se Young Kim is 10 under par for the day. Danielle Kang is the leader and the sole leader now by 1 after what's just happened at the 9th hole. So they say it all begins on the back 9 on Sunday. So it's all about to begin at Sentosa in Singapore. Michelle's tee shot up the hill at 11. Kate Burton is going to take a break from commentary because she has to go up to the clubhouse and interview half the field who are shooting under par.
Well, you have to go outside the top 30 to find anyone over par.
How's our average score going today? 69.34, clearly the easiest of the days. That is just off the charts. There are 3 holes on the golf course at the moment that are above their par. 11 and 12 are 2 of them. So here's the stretch.
Yeah, good shot.
This is the hang-on stretch. Make your par through these 2 holes and you've done your job.
Realistically, any look at birdie is a bonus on the next 2.
It'll take something mighty from Minjee, but we know her ability to put a lot of birdies together when she gets that feeling going.
Her individual score combined, when you have a look at Minjee at 2 under, you've got the entire final group is 6 under combined. But then you've got Se Young Kim at 10 under, Angela Stanford at 10 under, to name but a few.
Brooke Henderson really making a nice move up this leaderboard. She's just 1 shot back of the leader, Danielle Kang. 15 under par. This is her 2nd shot at the 10th hole. Nice controlled swing. Another great opportunity.
You mentioned the sister act, and for Brooke and Brittany, when Brooke turned pro, it was actually more about company than anything else. Brittany will be the first to say the fact that it was just nice for Brooke to have someone out there, and the fact that she could contribute to the golf was also a bonus.
I know you've been covering some territory out there, Sandy. Did you get an opportunity to have a look at Danielle's lie? It doesn't look too bad to us.
It's not too bad, Pete. It is sitting down, and I'm going to give you a guesstimate that it's the same yardage as Brooke just had, so she's just really on the 100-yard mark. Breeze blowing across right to left. Big trees in front of her, but they're sitting a bit further left, so not really in play, so she has actually got a pretty open shot. Oh, that's got to go. She's caught that heavy. Oh, well, it's going to go. It's going to get it. Hey, this could be very clever.
Well, there's a good game plan. Just try and hit the cart path and get 30 yards of free bounce.
She's done it twice now. She took the concrete highway to the green twice. Dale Smith, her caddy, certainly enjoyed that.
This remarkable story continues for Angela Stanford. It's only 144 yards today, the 17th. Pin's tucked over there on the left-hand side, as it was last year. She's a long way from the pin, but the way she's going, you wouldn't bet against it to get it to 11 under. And speaking of getting it to 11 under for the day, come on.
Well, it's a putt to equal her personal best, if you can believe that she's shot 62 before. She shot in the 2016 Founders Cup in that final round, but what a day to do it on this golf course in this quality field.
So she takes the clubhouse lead. She won't, barring a miracle, have the lead at the end of the day, but what a thrill she's given us. Jin Young Ko might have the lead at the end of the day. The way she's going about things, delightful touch again from the Korean. She's going to need everything to go right in the closing stretch of holes, but she should stay at 13 under 3 back.
Just over 80 yards for Nelly, and this is looking spot on. This is a very nice looking shot.
We saw the club twirl, and that's a good sign for Nelly. A momentum change coming, perhaps.
Yeah, something like that could kickstart her day, and it hasn't quite seen the gears engaged yet. From long range, Minjee Lee will get it down to 4 or 5 feet at the 11th. She's in the same boat as Jin Young Ko. Things are going to need to start happening, but Lydia is close enough.
You can see the difference in the grain. When it's dark green from our angle, it means it's fast from Lydia's. Right to left, down the slope. Sister Sura is out watching again. As ever, saw her carrying about 4 coffees around this morning, said she needed a caffeine injection. A flat white is her order.
Not often you hit 2 cart paths and you're putting for birdie. This is uphill from the back of this green because it does fall away quite severely.
That's been as strong as any area in her game this week. When she's found herself with long putts, she's been able to lag it just about stone dead nearly every time. She had a couple of bogeys late in her round yesterday.
No, it hasn't actually been that stressful for par for Danielle Kang.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be. Keep on coming. You take par there.
This putt for a share of the lead now for Brooke Henderson. She was 4 back at the start of the day. Just keep in the back of your mind her record on the back 9 this week, though. We've mentioned it a few times. She's got the best record of anyone in contention on the other side of the golf course. Good up and down from Jin Young Ko. She's got that elegance about her. We often compare her to So-Yeon Yu, and she does have that elegance and that presence on the golf course that So-Yeon has. For a share of the lead. Nelly's back up there again. Danielle Kang should hole her par putt. They'll be locked at 16 under. Brooke Henderson 1 back. And this player amongst a group at 2 back.
For her 4th birdie in a row. She's already done 4 birdies in a row today and an eagle at the start of that run as well. Talked about Danielle Kang's putting earlier, in particular her lag putting, and at the end of 2016 she actually did quite a bit of work with Scott Piercy, a fellow tour pro. He won 3 times on the PGA Tour. He lives out in Las Vegas as well. Easy work made there for Minjee Lee.
And similar for Angela Stanford, who goes now to the final hole, needing a birdie for a 61. And a good 2 putt from Michelle keeps her in contact. We've got 6 players within 2 of the lead, including the leaders. We've got 9 players within 3 of the lead. It's been hard to know where to look today, but a lot of eyes have been on Se Young Kim. What an extraordinary round it was. Out in 29 after starting on 10. A 10 under par round of 62, one of the rounds of her life, and she's with Kate Burton.
Se Young, have you come back down to earth now after that brilliant round of golf?
I know. I shot 10 under today. I'm very happy to get back. Great shot today, and yeah, it is awesome.
It was amazing. You were out in 29, starting on the 10th. Now, did you realise when you completed 9 holes that, I'm doing something quite special here?
Yeah, when I turned the hole 18, I shoot 7 under, and I realized, and I got a little nervous and a little exciting, and Paul made me keep calm, and yeah, I'm gonna just calm.
Yeah. How exciting, though, is that feeling for us mere mortals to have that on the golf course in a big championship in the final round? It's what you dream of.
Oh, it's a good dream come true, but I thought I should like until 12 under. It was able, but yeah, I missed the whole 7 par 3, the tee shot. So yeah, that's a little bit make me upset. And then next hole I bounced back, and then yeah, I'm very happy to be back.
Okay, well, congratulations, a sizzling 62 in this heat. That is very well played.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It was very well played, and I think she's still a bit stunned by the whole thing. Why don't we have a look? We almost have time to have a look at every one of her shots because she didn't have that many. And here she is after going out in 29 on the other side of the golf course, starting on 10. She came to 1 and thought, well, I better keep this train going, and that's what she did.
And then on the 3rd, it was her 12th hole. And it was some approach into the par 4, up the hill. She wouldn't have known how close it was. She would have liked it when she got up there. She made birdie.
5th hole, her 14th, par 5 with her length. She would have been thinking definitely birdie at worst, and she got what she was after, and the very low number was still a distinct possibility.
We thought she was a chance to make birdie on 8, given that pretty much everyone in the field had. It's an eagle chance, really. But this was beautiful from the bunker. Look at that touch. And it set up yet another birdie chance, her last of the day, en route to that 62. Great stuff from Se Young Kim.
And not only from Se Young Kim, a couple of other completed rounds as we look at Nelly and Danielle tied at the top by 1 from Brooke Henderson. 64 today from Amy Yang, a completed round. An 8 under par round of 64 from So Yeon Yu. That would have equalled the old course record, but Se Young's got it now, and Angela Stanford might be about to go one better. Can you believe that? Our joint leader, Nelly Corder, at the 11th tee.
A little bit of breeze coming across. It's a nice looking drive. Tee's back on this hole again today, so it does play much tougher. That extra 30 yards makes a massive difference.
We've seen a lot of hybrids in, Sandy.
Brooke Henderson, the next to play. Sun shining through, plenty of clouds though, so we've got a bit of the lot, but boy, when it comes out, is it warm. Slight breeze though, blowing left to right. And this has started well out to the right. Now, it may well pick up that right rough, which will make it quite an awkward shot in to this very elevated green.
Needs a little advice from Lydia Ko over there, who had to send it over those right trees.
Daniel Kang, after being very adventurous on the previous hole, hitting the 2 cart paths. very high ball flight. This is going to be a long way back. This is going to be a long club into this hole for Danielle.
It is a long way back. And up the hill at 11 as well.
Danielle Kang on the 11th hole. This is her second shot. It's playing quite long today, 423 yards, all uphill. So a long iron for Danielle.
At 12, hardest hole all week. Plenty of club required to get it there, especially in light of the fact that the pin is 30 paces on and 8 from the left-hand side at 12. Use the ridge. Come on down. It was somewhat similar to what Marina Alex did a couple of days ago, but didn't quite get the run down to the hole. Still pretty handy.
149 to the front for Nelly Corder. This is a 6-iron left to right breeze, and this is a pretty good looking shot. Well, from down here it's a good. We can't see it finish the course.
That has been a really tough shot this week. It's jumped up and grabbed a few.
Even just a pace or two further right, and that would have been something special. You can afford to go for the centre of the green here on 12 and let the contours do the work. Just like that. Oh, Jin Young Ko making it look easy, matching that of Minjee Lee. So two really good looks at birdie there coming up.
For Brooke Henderson, 174, and she's got it way over the top of these big trees. And it doesn't look too bad from here. Awkward angle to try and come in from.
And again, it's just hit the hard green and gone to the back. It looks easy from the high camera. It's not that easy. I've seen a few leave it down there this week.
Works the ball left to right, Michelle. And that just sitting down a little quickly for her. So slope to navigate up and over the ridge.
So then, here we go. Final hole for Angela Stanford. Second shot. If she can get this close, she can shoot 61. Might have pulled an awkward lie. But up and down from there, and she equals Se Young Kim. Nice weather for a swim. There's been a few lurking dangerously around on this Sunday. Leaders have been keeping a close eye out for all sorts of things, but mainly people coming from the back of the field.
Just pitching and hoping to get this to run its way out. Now she's left herself a very awkward distance for a par putt.
Those putts are always awkward for par at that length. When you're in the last 8 holes on Sunday, they're a bit more awkward.
Up and down required for a 62 for Angela Stanford.
We don't want to see it finish with a bogey, do we?
Oh, don't do it, Angela. Knock that one in.
Brooke's a fair way off here, but she is electing to take the putter out around these greens. Manicured so beautifully, it's quite a good option here, but you do run that risk of getting a little bowl along the way and killing the ball off. probably got about 12 feet to make it to the green. Yeah, it ran fairly well across there. Oh, wow, that would have been exceptional.
Meantime, here's Lydia. Just 2 back to close the gap to 1. Just needed to hit it a bit harder. The line was pretty good.
Electing to just pitch it into the grain there and kill it off. Oh, she was hoping that flagstick would get in the way.
She's very familiar on grainy greens and golf courses, Nelly. That was beautifully played.
Speaking of grain, have a look at it here as Michelle comes from up on the ridge and then down the slope and judges it beautifully. I guess in reality we're probably looking at the players within 2 shots of the lead as the possible winners, but that still means that we've got 7 of them.
Is that all?
Yeah.
We thought today we had a very large chance of turning into a duel between Nelly Korda and Danielle Kang, but the field had other thoughts.
A couple of interesting par putts here for our leaders. And of course a big scoreboard directly behind their screen, so they know exactly what's going on.
Another pressure putt, just like the one at 9. Yeah, that reaction between player and caddy gave you some indicator of them knowing the importance of the moment.
Oh, that ball is scared of heights, Minjee Lee. That was a great effort. 2 under the card for today, and technically over par if you go by the current scoring average. It's under 70 at the moment here. That's how good the golf is.
Nelly Korda with just about 4 feet for par. A good up and down this would be. Couple of clutch putts from our leaders. Just enough to get you nervous on a Sunday, but they've battled the nerves and got the ball in the hole for a par figure. Come on, Angela. For a 62. Well, let's not worry about that moment. Let's worry about the totality of her final round. Turning back the clock, the Texan, the 2012 champion, shoots a 9 under par round of 63. On any other day, that'd be a new course and tournament record. Not today.
We've got news for you, Angela. Close, but not close enough.
They'll all head to 12 with pars under their belt. They'll come to the hardest hole on the golf course, but after that, they've got a par 5, they've got a short par 4, then the par 3, and then another par 5. That's where they can make their score.
And rolls it in on one of the hardest holes on the golf course. Jin Young Ko, nicely done. She's at 14 under.
And if we were talking about those players within 2 shots of the lead, now we have another one. So we've got 7 of them. Angela Stanford has finished her day after a 9 under par round of 63, battered by Se Young Kim with a 10 under 62. Amy Yang with a 64, So-Yeon Yu with a 64. Red numbers all the way, and it's the USA all the way so far. Nelly and Danielle sitting at the top of the tree in the final round.
Danielle Kang now playing her second shot at the 12th hole. This hole playing some 446 yards today, longer than the advertised yard on the scorecard, but the hole location is 30 on, so she can get it to release back there if she'd hit it on the green, and that's not going to be that easy a bunker shot.
Now let's check in with Jenny Shin. Up ahead at 13. And another birdie. How would this be? Birdie 11, birdie 12, and birdie 13 after the shot she had to play to get there.
And a chance now, if she can make a birdie coming down the stretch. She's only one back, Jenny Shin.
.194 for Nelly. This is hanging right. She hasn't caught this at all, and it's going to stay out there. It's going to miss the green short.
That sounded thin from the get-go. Maybe a little off the heel as well.
Has somebody turned the calendar back to 2012 just for the moment? Angela Stanford won in 2012. Jenny Shin could have won in 2012. This is some Sunday.
Need to land this about 155. Now this is better contact, and it's also a pretty good line.
It's just not quite rolling down that incline as quickly as it did the other day, but that's good enough on the hardest hole on the golf course. Brooke Henderson will have a putt to potentially join the lead.
Not to be outdone is big sis Jessica Corder. She's 3 under for the day. That'll help. Birdie there on 13. Made easy work of it as well.
Nice colour coordination too from Jess. She's got the umbrella to match the blue outfit today. Everything's working in sync. Just off the fairway, so that makes the task a little bit more difficult for Michelle. Plenty of sand to immediately cover, and then some more up at the green.
Started that one out to the right. It's a shot she's been working on a lot over the off-season, trying to get a bit more of a draw back in the bag, just to have some more variety of shots in her long game. Anything just rolling past the entry point on that front right section would be good with the pin today. And she's going to hope that that rolled back down. It did. Still not a lot of green to work with. Up and down for birdie.
There's that bunker again. Jin Young looking to avoid it. Seemed to be heading right. And a long way right too. That is a pretty serious miscalculation.
I think that's the only execution error we've seen in the last 3 events from Jin Young Ko. She certainly didn't make many at Kooyonga.
Oh no.
Yeah, Danielle Kang certainly has her problems here. I didn't think I saw the ball run down. It has plugged in the very top of the bunker. This is quite a pivotal point here, because as we get onto this back 9 and we start running out of holes, and this is a tough shot because a very difficult green to get it on. She's going to be the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. She's actually lucky it's not steeper than this, because sometimes you actually can't get good enough footing in the top of these bunkers. She's really just going to have to stick this in behind. There'll be a massive sand come out with this. It's not bad. If it keeps running, it was really very much a hit and hope when you get in that situation. She's now covered in dirt, so the rest of the round's going to be uncomfortable.
She might have a few dollars at the end of the day to make her feel a bit better about the whole thing.
Thank you.
All right, it's been a remarkable day for scoring. We've already spoken to Se Young Kim after her 62, and then the 2012 champion, Angela Stanford, the Texan, an unfortunate way to finish with a 5. She also had a bogey at the 12th as well, but look at the end number. That's what counts, a 63. It was a simply magnificent performance from Angela, surely one of the best rounds of her life, and as we said, that's really saying something. Let's hear from her now. She's with Kate.
Angela, wow, how good was that? How enjoyable was it being out on the golf course today?
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. You know, you don't have these days a lot in golf, and it was just so much fun. And I think I blacked out there for a little bit because I don't remember a whole lot. But I know I had a lot of wedges in my hands, and you know, I've been hitting the ball so good for 2 weeks, and like golf, I mean, you'd like to think it's going to come together, but you never know. So it was a lot of fun.
It certainly came together today. Let me refresh you then, because at one point you were 7 under through 6 holes, and I'd love to get into your head, the head of Angela Stanford, that when you're having this amazing round, what are you thinking? You're like, oh, I'm thinking course record, I'm thinking low 60s.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I think starting the day, you just want to see how low you can go. But sometimes the course doesn't set up for that. And today I felt like it was setting up for that. And it was kind of fun to actually see it and then get to do it. When I made the putt on 9, I thought, wow, I've never shot 29 before. And I actually told my caddy on 10, I'm like, I've never done this before. And the bad thing about golf is we got to go play 9 more holes.
And in this heat.
Yeah, and he's like, no, that's good. Let's keep going. I'm like, no. So and then we birdied 10. And I thought, you know, I think it's a good day to learn how to grow a little bit. And hopefully I'll be in this position more and not be nervous. So let's try to learn something today.
And you nearly made an eagle on the 16th hole. Your playing partners, your Solheim Cup friends, Christy Kerr and Austin Ernst, must have been giving you rounds of applause.
Yeah, Austin was great. She gave me a clap for that one, and she just kind of rolled with it. You know, you want playing partners and these kind of days to just kind of go with it and enjoy it with you. You know, you don't want anybody out there rooting against you or anything. So they were great. It was great. So it was fun.
Well played. A 63. You're on the front page of the leaderboard. Don't think it's going to be enough because there's some great golf going on, but you must be very pleased. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
A magnificent round from Angela Stanford, just one worse than her career low, 62 in the first round of the 2008 Safeway International.
Nelly from long range.
And 3 feet from there, Sandy, was a pretty good result. Sandy just standing a little bit too close to the players, so we'll get back to her in a moment. Birdie putt for Charlie Hull at 14, and the body language and the body English gets it in from the English woman. Had a bad stretch through 11 and 12, that tough corner of the golf course, but that gets one of them back.
From elevation, Jin Young Ko pitching back across the green. Classy.
How good a scrambler is she?
Well, this could be quite a turning point for Danielle Kang. It'd be a heck of an up and down if it went in.
You are kidding. How good a par is that? If she lifts the trophy at the end of the day, we will talk about that par as much as any birdie she might make.
Pretty handy stuff. Trying to throw it way up in the air, Michelle Wee. And that is beautifully played. It's hard to see from the elevation of the TV towers, but she had to go up and over the back edge of the green then.
This is big for Brooke Henderson. Oh.
We speak about scrambling. Brooke was second in scrambling in 2017.
So she stays within one. Nelly looks as though she will be able to maintain her 16 under score. Out of this very popular trap, Minjee Lee, with not a lot of green to work with, has come up with a little gem. There's just going to be enough right to left in that on the way back. We saw what the ball did when it came past the hole. And that'll have her attention.
Good job, bud.
Good par from Nelly, great par from Danielle Kang. And perhaps a little bit of a disappointing par for Brooke Henderson. Speaking of pars, Lydia drains one from 8 feet and keeps herself in the hunt. Birdies have dried up for the moment, but we talked about the fact that they've come through a very difficult part of the golf course. How about that for an up and down from Michelle Wee? The American is now one off the lead. They're queuing up behind. Nelly and Danielle have it at present. Jenny Shin has emerged from nowhere. Michelle Wee continues to chip away. Brooke Henderson in the final group is eyeballing the 2 leaders. Lydia Ko is definitely close enough. We know what she can do. Jin Young Ko, we might draw a line under them, so that means we've got 7 who can win it. What a Sunday this is turning out to be.
Fairty returns with more laughs and more guests. David sits down with PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler, golf's most decorated major champion Jack Nicklaus, and 16-time Grand Slam doubles tennis champion Bob Bryan. Don't miss an all-new Fairty Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Jenny Shin on this much shortened 14th hole today, only playing 281 yards. This second shot underway, and that'll leave her a great opportunity for a birdie.
Jenny Shin will have a putt to get to 16 under par. 3 birdies in her last 3 holes. She's on a run.
And the man she took the golf club from, Jason Hamilton, on the bag with his Caddy of the Year bib on from all of those years ago. He's had a couple of decent bags. Yani Seng when she was unbeatable. Lydia when she was unbeatable. Marina Alex from off the green. Had a finish that she would have liked to replay at the end of Saturday, but the smile is back on Marina's face. She is having a pretty dreadful day though.
You mentioned Jason Hamilton. He'll be back on the bag for Yani. This is a temporary arrangement for Jenny Shin, although she might be begging for something a little bit more concrete. The way she's playing today, he's going back on the bag of Yani, saying when they get back stateside.
And Kate Burton has come back from the clubhouse after interviewing people who could only shoot 9 or 10 under par.
Hoping it might rub off on me. Wow, that was very impressive. Se-Young Kim and Angela Stanford. Good chance here for Jessica Korda at the 14th. It is extremely hot out there.
Very interesting position she's in here off the tee, Nelly Korda. It's not long and it's way out to the right. Has 260 from there to get it to the green, just going with an iron, putting it down this right-hand side. Opens the green up a little bit, so it's going to be attempted a pitch and putt there.
What a big day it is for Nelly Korda to have a share of the lead, so much at stake.
Bit at stake with this putt too, because Lydia can get within one. Maybe. Oh. I think we could safely give her that one.
.228 for Danielle Kang. Awkward pin right behind the bunker. No width in this, depth in this green, I should say, at all. Safe side is to play it out to the right, so you've got a clear look at the flag, and it's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, smart play. You don't want to end up in that front bunker when it's a much easier option from the right side of the green. It's been very methodical all week, Danielle Kang.
Charlie Hull for birdie at 15. Bingo. And that is back-to-back birdies for Charlie. She's probably run out of holes, but there's a lot of dollars and a lot of Rolex World Ranking points up for grabs at the end of the day.
Great drive down here by Brooke Henderson, and she too is not going to have a go at this really tight pin. Just put it out to the right-hand side and rely on a good up and down.
6 years ago, Jenny Shin was on the verge of winning this tournament, and Singapore's weather probably denied her. Well, she's got a chance of retribution 6 years later. She's come up with a hot streak, one of the best hot streaks, and that is saying something. And what makes this even hotter is the stretch on the golf course where she was able to produce it. At the 11th, hardest hole on the course today. Rolls it in for a birdie, and then there was more to come.
The 12th, very difficult off the tee, and the approach is no picnic either. But this iron into the heart of the green, and another birdie for Shin.
And then at the par 5, she would have been expecting perhaps birdie, but she gave herself a very difficult third shot. Well, it should have been difficult. Not the way she was playing. And Jenny got up there and knocked in a third successive birdie. And now to make it 4 in a row. And for a share. This has been an unbelievable stretch from Jenny Shin. The hardest part of the golf course, and she is making it look as though she could do it with her eyes closed.
Just in the edge of the rough for Nelly Korda. She's got about nearly 50 yards to the flag, taking the bunker very tight. It was actually a very awkward spot to be. She was a bit too far back to take the bunker out of play.
How good are the pictures coming from our hard-working crew out there on the golf course, as Kate said. It's hot, and it's hot in more ways than one out there, Kate.
Golf is sizzling.
Oh. Oh, nice trick, Chella. Try doing that again.
Wow. Let's have another look at this. You see the orange ball coming to land. They don't normally bounce towards the flag. Take those when they come. Now she's staring at a legitimate birdie. How about that pin on 17?
Back to the action with our leading group of 13, and a delicate little pitch for Brooke Henderson, but up and down, a distinct possibility.
Pin sitting just on top of a ridge, right to left break in this.
That awkward length. One behind. Needs to make that. Stay in touch. Up ahead on the 14th hole.
Oh.
Simply brilliant.
And she's got 6 inches left for a share of the lead. How good is this day? It's just getting better.
It is a packed, congested leaderboard full of stars. This is one of them. She's a major champion, Danielle Kang.
Clear shot at this green. Just got to get it uphill most of the way, get it running. A little too much. Again, a difficult little birdie putt there.
I think that might have been as a reaction from Brooke Henderson's ball, which pulled up so quickly, and she gave it a little bit more, and now she's given herself an issue. Well, Chella's played the trick shot. Let's see if she can capitalise on it. Of course she can.
Good on you.
Well, that's the best bouncer that we've seen since some of the cricket matches that have gone on around the world. And Chella looks and says, oh yeah, I'll take that one. 144 yards, and it was unconventional, but it was a 2. How about this? We've got 3 leaders now. We're going to have 4 in a minute, because Michelle Wee is going to go to 16 under. What's going to happen next? Who would know? This has been an extraordinary Sunday at Sentosa Golf Club in Singapore. I hope you're enjoying our final round coverage of the HSBC Women's World Championship of 2018. If you're not, you're pretty hard to please. Got 3 leaders at the moment. It's about to be 4 because Michelle Wee is within kick-in birdie range to go to -16. Jin Young Ko has a birdie opportunity as well. Danielle Kang could just take the outright lead by herself. So it'll be a par for Danielle, and Nelly Corder has also made her par. 16 under's the mark. It's been the mark for a little while, but you wouldn't think it would be enough to win.
That tap in for Michelle Wee elevates her into a share of the lead on 16 under par. It's been a long time since we entered the winner's circle. We have to go all the way back to 2014, 4 years ago.
Another significant putt.
In the hole.
They're just not quite falling for Brooke Henderson in recent holes. It's now 5 pars in a row. She's had a few chances too.
She's only 1 behind, and her distance on these last few holes will be a huge advantage. Minji.
In the hole. In the hole.
Certainly giving the crowd something to cheer about. Minji Lee 3 under today, 14 under for the championship, so 2 back. And that will be a tap-in birdie for Minji Lee to climb to within 1 of the lead. No wonder she doesn't want to stop playing. Where's the challenge going to come from? Somebody is going to walk away with the trophy this afternoon, and it's very hard to pick a winner.
Minjee Lee at -14 now. Jenny Shin at -16. Unlikely to be -17 after this, but she's done some remarkable things this week with the putter in hand. And wasn't that far off doing another one. That's a really good leave on a putt that was so fast. Playing with Hannah Zhang. For fans of Hannah, she's 2 under for the day, 11 under for the week.
Moved into second gear right when she needed to. Had to up her game to stay in touch, and she's doing exactly that.
The breeze is in their face here. Can you just update me? I have no idea what's going on out here. There's going to be about 15 people in this playoff. That is going straight towards that big bunker on the left.
And it's sat right between them in the little lip in the middle, Sandy.
Yeah, it's a little grassy up there too, Pete.
Maybe another leader? Not quite.
Jin Young, 5 under for the round. Only 1 back with 3 holes to play.
281 is the distance for 14 today.
Big high ball flight from Brooke, and it's heading directly in the direction of the green, just to the right of that bunker. But I don't think it will have enough to get up there. It's just going to be nice sitting in front of the green, a good position for an up and down.
Well, she got a fair bit of distance with that drive for Henderson. It's pin high.
Trust it.
There is plenty of, well, not plenty of breeze, it's just sort of gusting a little bit. Every now and then it's quite strong. It's just blowing up again now. It's coming directly into them. And then it drops down again. Again, very high ball flight from Danielle. And it's going to miss the... No, it's not. It's caught the very edge of the bunker, and it is in. Oh, my God.
Let's hope she pulls a better lie than the one she had at 12.
Yeah. We can't worry about that. All we can worry about is what's in front of us.
Again, a bit of amateur psychology going on. Don't worry about what's happened. Worry about what we can control. If Lydia was going to win, she probably needed to make birdie here, and after finding the water, that might just about spell the end of her chances. Bear in mind that this young woman is in contention to win the title after shooting 73 on Friday.
Yes, what a great bounce back for Michelle Weaver. That's going to be a slick putt we saw just a few moments ago with Danielle Kang. Such a hard pin to get close.
Minimise the damage is what Lydia's looking at. And she might be able to. She might be able to get away with a 6, which is about the best possible result that she could have hoped for.
But that will drop her down to 13 under par and 3 behind as we're getting to the pointy end of this championship. Heading in the wrong direction.
Nothing wrong with that from Minjee Lee. She continues to stay in touch. If that putt falls, she's definitely in the discussion.
Green's getting so quick, 11.8, and they look like they're getting even more slippery. Wow, it is tough, it is hot, and it is a challenge for the very best. But look at the players pecking away at the lead. Jin Young Ko, Lydia Ko. But we have a four-way tie at the top on 16 under par. Shin, Wei, Korda, and Kang. We're in Singapore. It's anyone's game.
Now this is not your easy bunker shot. The ball is actually laying very well. She caught the very edge of the corner, but it did run down into the bunker. 35 to the front of the green, but it's sitting in this little front area and there's not a lot of room. And it's a dome-shaped green, so if you don't get the right line here, it runs off in every direction. So awkward length long bunker shot to a difficult pin.
We heard the discussion that went on between player and caddy, trying to keep her focused, not let her mind wander to things that have already happened in the day.
Contact is okay, but it's going to come up way short. And that does make a little bit of a game changer here. Now it requires a very good up and down not to drop one.
Something she's been pretty adept at so far this week. But when you get to the last handful of holes on a Sunday, the pressure level indicator is multiplied. Well, we've got plenty of them. Jenny Shin, so close in 2012, maybe 6 years down the track, the trophy might be hers. She's come from nowhere. Michelle Wee, 73 on Friday. She's probably thinking this one might be beyond me. Well, that's not the case. For Nelly, the 19-year-old, the victory still beckons. It hasn't been her brilliant day yet, but she's still up there at the top. Danielle Kang has faced adversity a couple of times late on Saturday, throughout the round on Sunday, and she's been able to conquer it. She's going to need to conquer it here at 14, and that's where we are with our joint leader, Nelly Korda.
Quite a heavy lie here for Nelly. 40 yards to the flag. Yeah, that's not going to get there. I don't think it'll make the front of the green.
Ooh.
I believe just how difficult that shot was with it being an upturned saucer. You land on that upslope, takes all the sting out of it. Anything too punchy will roll off the other side. Oh, this is fast. That very good weight of putt from Jin Young Ko.
Opportunity here for Brooke Henderson to knock this close, but not a lot of room. Oh, that's got to stop.
And therein lies the difficulty. Trying to zero in on this pin flag is very hard.
Ali Whittaker has rejoined us in the commentary box after sitting up the back for about 15 or 20 minutes with a calculator, with a computer, and trying to work out who's going to win this thing.
Well, what I did find out is that the top 11 right now are 161 under par combined, and 53 of that is today. That's how good the golf is. Wow.
Duke University education once again. But those are mesmerising scores. To think that we interviewed 2 players a few moments ago, but as Lydia drops 2 shots to be out of the reckoning now, her chances evaporated on the 16th.
Very important shot here for Danielle Kang. It's still very difficult. This her 3rd. Just trying to check it up. It's a pretty good effort. Still got a little bit of work in it.
She's been ice cool under pressure when she's been asked to do something to scramble. Most of the time this week, apart from those 2 bogeys at the end of Saturday, she's been able to do it.
So Nelly Corder.
Well, the one thing is, Kate, it is coming uphill. Still not easy on this green. I just want to know off the top of your head, you're full of information in there. What is the biggest number in a playoff we've had?
In this championship, it would have to go back to 2012.
Yeah, we had 4 in 2012. We'll delve into the record books.
Oh, nice roll. Just sneaks by. I remember doing the one that when Jess caught a one that was 6 in the Australian Ladies Open.
It certainly was. We've just been scribbling that number down. Australian Open at Royal Melbourne, where Jessica caught a 1. The first LPGA Tour event.
I have nightmare memories of being the on-course commentator for that 6-way playoff.
Needed to be twins. So just a par for Nelly, and looking likely to be the same for Danielle.
Chance for the lead, albeit an outside one for Michelle Wee. It had a chance. Mind you, everyone seems to have a chance on Sunday.
Yeah, don't blink for a moment, because everybody who's got a putt for birdie has a chance to take the lead.
Now might be a good chance to tell you that the playoff, which is seeming increasingly likely, is 18, 18, then they'll go to 12, then 18, then 12, then 18 again. Could be here for a while.
It certainly could. It'd be a nail-biting finish no matter what. But this, a chance for Henderson to join the leaders on 16 under. Oh, that was close. That was a good putt.
To keep her hopes alive. Not out of the question yet, but it would have been a whole lot easier had that gone in.
Solid. She has been all week, remains calm and composed. Just. Not sure what's going on inside, but she has a share of the lead on 16 under par. 3 holes to play.
I think there's a bit of duck action going on with the players at the moment. Everything looks serene on top of the water. Underneath, they're paddling like heck.
Well, it's a championship that everybody would love on their resume. You look at the quality of the field that teed it up at the beginning of the week. 19 out of 20 on the Rolex rankings were here.
And the quality of the names already on the trophy too. It's the elite. Pars all round then. When they would have been thinking birdie when they stood on the tee. So now they go to the beanbag hole, the 15th, but there'll be no time for relaxing.
Brooke Henderson tackling the 15th hole, playing 160 yards today. Only 6 yards of green to work with at the front. Got to try and get this to stop quick.
Just hasn't been able to hold putts of that length, though. In recent holes, she's now put together a string of 6 consecutive pars. But Brooks had her chances. Maybe that might be the one to break the string. Trying to capture the moment.
Again, this slight cross breeze. There's not a lot of breeze out here, Pete, at the moment. It's just nice enough to stop us from baking. But it is coming right to left across this fairway. Just a little bit of noise behind the tee. Good solid contact just to the right of the flag again, but should be okay. Just sneak on, it does.
Well, there's what we said. You have to land it on the apron to get it into a position where you have the best putt at the hole.
Yeah, good. Glad you refocused there. Good swing.
Good swing it was.
Struggling for pars right now. Come on. We go.
The chance of a birdie coming for a couple in our final group. Jenny Shin has also got a birdie chance coming at the 16th hole. It's a 4-way tie at the top at the moment at the HSBC Women's World Championship.
Leaderboard is really tightly packed here in Singapore at the HSBC Women's World Championship. Nelly Korda now on this 15th hole has a great opportunity to start to separate herself and has this for the lead. That was close. Something has to drop sometime for her.
And another putt for the outright lead, this time from Jenny Shin.
This is incredible. Where has she come from?
8 under par from the round. Look at that.
That back nine is crazy stuff.
8 under in the last 11 holes. It's what you've got to do if you want to hoist that trophy.
She just shook her head there. I don't think she can believe what's going on. Nelly Korda, by the way, has tapped in and made her par. Jenny Shin leads the HSBC Women's World Championship.
And back on the other side of the pond, you have to wonder if they could hear the cheers from 16.
Oh, trust me, they could hear. They're very aware. Everybody had a look. This for Brooke is downhill. Quite a quick putt.
Yes.
Something's got to start dropping soon for the Canadian. Now that Jenny Shin has been able to do what she's done, Brooke finds herself 2 shots adrift of the lead. She's got a par 5 to come. She's incredibly long. She'll be thinking birdie, and she'll have to.
This may very well be one of the best days of golf combined that I've ever seen.
And you've seen a lot.
I've seen my fair share. The course averaging just over 69.5 shots at the moment.
I've been around slightly longer than you. I don't know whether you picked that up or not, but I'd concur. This is remarkable.
And I can tell you from ground level it has been quite extraordinary, and I'm only watching one group.
I wonder what that smile is masking, what's going on inside her head.
It's a game of millimetres, and that could have been the difference.
So what that means for the time being at least is that Jenny Shin, with 2 holes to play, is going to have and maintain the outright lead.
Pin today only 4 paces off the left on 16. But it doesn't bother the world's best.
She's going to need a minor miracle now, even if that goes in, Minjee Lee. Let's pay due attention to the performance of this young lady. For birdie at the final hole, Ataya Titikal, at 15 years of age, is in all likelihood going to finish in the top 10. Remember that name. You're going to be hearing it a lot, following in the footsteps of Portanong Patlam and Area and Moria Jutanagan. Thailand's got another star. Here's our leader. Where's that going?
That's what we call on tour a bailout. And there's a big one there on 17.
Jenny Shin turns to Jason Hamilton and says, "You haven't got a telescope in the bag, have you? Because I think I'm going to need it from there."
What's the yardage?
Come on down.
Jenny Shin might get some company.
This is a hole where these players know they seriously need to make a birdie on this par 5. Nice looking tee shot from Nelly Corder.
She was one of the only players to get anywhere near the front of the green yesterday. She did that. It's only about 3 paces short in 2.
This is almost last chance for Brooke Henderson now.
It is a big chance for her here, Pete. She's very long, Brooke Henderson. Gets out a long way. She needs a good drive here. Oh, this is coming down the right-hand side. That is not ideal. It just puts you much further away. And doubtfully it will be... She won't be able to get home from there.
Well, we're now at the stage, Sandy, where we think it's got to be birdie for Brooke here, otherwise it's too much.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a must. And just as we're talking, breezes springing up into their faces again, and it's, you know, a little bit of strength in it as well, so it's directly into them. Not helping with this par 5 that you really need to birdie. Oh, this is way right from Danielle Kang. Wow, this has missed the cart path on the right, and that's a long way from home.
She's been pretty good at hitting the cart path today.
Yeah, missed that one.
Very late with the hands then, trying to turn it over on that right-hand side.
Right at the moment, it's advantage Michelle Wee. Jenny Shin is definitely in 3-putt territory. She's going to have to come up with something extraordinarily talented to make a par at 17. Maybe Michelle is just on the charge. A very exciting race going on here in Singapore, and the year-long race to the CME Globe has only just begun, and 2 of our winners in Brittany Lincecum and Jin Young Ko are tied at the top of the race. Jess Corder's got a win on the board, but because Brittany and Jin Young have had other good results, they are the leaders in the race. Lexi Thompson, well, she was able to win it last year. Moria Jutanagan right up near the top. And it will go on all the way through the year until we get to Florida at the end of 2018. And here is one of the joint leaders in the race to the CME Globe, Jin Young Ko. This needs to go in. She's not done and dusted just yet because of where Jenny Shin is. And where Jenny Shin is in 3-putt territory.
Trying to do the math on how long and how far away from the hole she is. It's in excess of 70 feet.
Brilliant. That is superb.
We talk about birdies. But that par, and that putt in particular for Jenny Shin, we think back to the one on 12 for Danielle Kang. They can be the hinge points.
Well, remember the putt that Inbee holed 12 months ago when Area had put it in tight and Inbee putted it into the hole. Jenny Shin didn't putt it in the hole there, but that might turn out to be equally as important. She maintains her lead by 1, and she's got 1 to play. But she might have some company in a moment. Oh no.
You won't see many better opportunities than that. A right to left putt for a right-handed golfer inside 7 feet. And it goes begging for Michelle Wee.
The par 3 17th and the par 4 18th to come for Michelle. It's still going to take a bit of a miracle, but on this day, anything is possible.
Birdie, birdie finish.
Yep.
It's doable.
.300 yards to the green, so this is only an iron to get it back into play and give herself a chance at knocking one close.
Pin's over on the left, so it's not a bad angle to come in for Brooke.
From long on 18. Given the day we're having, oh, we wouldn't normally count her out.
Still 270 for Nelly, and she's putting it down the right-hand side. She'll only be about probably 50 yards from the front of the green, so just gives herself a good chance for an up and down.
Yeah, ditto, Sandy. Good approach angle too, being down the right-hand side. Ball's in the air for Minjee Lee at 17. She's giving it the good stare. And that might be that.
She took dead aim at that.
Yeah. That was why she was staring it down, just hoping it was going to be long enough to clear the traps.
Not a shot that sets up that well for Michelle with her natural fade, the pin on the left.
On the green though, yeah?
On the green, yep. A long way away, yep.
Breeze is straight into it. Left edge of that old white building.
144 yards to date. So the situation with Jin Young Ko is, if she finishes birdie, she might win, she might get herself into a playoff, but the likelihood is, well, she's going to have to make at least one. Potentially both of them. She's giving it the stare.
With the water behind the hole as well, it is hard to get it all the way back there.
Jenny Shin then is approaching the 18th hole, and she does that with a one-shot advantage. Michelle Wee outside of comfortable birdie range here at 17. Still, the title very much up for grabs in Singapore. You're watching our final round coverage of the HSBC Women's World Championship of 2018. That trophy has some of the greatest names the game has ever seen on it. Lorena Ochoa, the first winner. The world #1 from Korea, Jia Shin. The legendary Kari Webb. And Inby Park is the only one with her name on the trophy on a couple of occasions. Jenny Shin came so close to getting her name on the trophy 6 years ago, and now she's one hole away from doing that.
Confidently swung down that left side, and Jenny Shin's going to have a great angle into that hole location on the front right today. Job one done. Nelly Korda's turn.
This is just a little punch in here. This needs to be close, and it is going to be close. She's going to give herself a really good chance at birdieing this hole and join the lead.
Well, how interesting would it be on a day where nothing much has happened for Nelly Korda that the switch gets flicked 16, 17 and 18? A par at best then for Minjee, which will mean she'll be minus 15, and that will not get it done in all likelihood.
Yeah, and we've got a very large leaderboard sitting at this behind the screen, and they've all had a good look, and everybody knows exactly the situation. And for Danielle Kang, the situation is it would be really beneficial if this went in. One behind, but it is long range, difficult putt, not an easy green.
Danielle, a known leaderboard watcher as well. Michelle Wee, not so much.
Outside chance of taking a share of the lead from long range. And that's going to have a little bit in it coming back too. The US Open champion of 2014. Here's a major champion in her own right at just 20 years of age, Brooke Henderson. If she's going to lift the trophy, this has to go in.
Not a bad angle to come in from, Pete, too. She's coming up the hill. It is a very makeable distance. Does run away a little bit quickly past the hole, though, but we hope it doesn't go there. Oh, she's come so close so many times today. She's holed very little, but had a lot of really good putts and just has not quite had the line today.
That's 8 times now in the last 8 holes where she's had a birdie putt. And as Sandy said, nothing has fallen.
The equation becoming pretty simple for Brooke. Birdie, birdie finish needed.
But here's the putt that might change everything. Nelly Corder, 4 pars to begin with. She made a birdie at the 5th. Then she went pars again until she got to 9, where she made a bogey. Got it back at 10. It's been pars since then. A nearly day, we called it earlier. Now would be a good time to change that.
She has played very solid. She's very impressive. And when there's been just birdies going off everywhere, she's been unlucky. Oh, another one shaves by. One of those days for her where it could have been very different.
This may be the biggest shot she's ever played. Awkward.
There's a glimmer of hope for those at 16 under par. This woman, Danielle Kang, one of those 3 players.
This, though, would need to go in. You'd have to lose count of the number of times she has 2-putted from long range this week.
This is such hard pars. Well, what is it? Driver 4 iron, 5 iron? What's going on? Ah!
1 back, 2 to play. You wouldn't rule it out yet for Jin Young Ko if she can make par here, but that's only because of what we've seen with Jenny Shin at the last. 16 may get it done.
You can bet her caddy, Dean Herden, will be saying, come on, let's pick up 1 more on 18. Let's finish in style and then control what you can.
Jin Young's not been able to make a birdie on 18 yet this week. That's a good save.
Huge. Absolutely huge from Michelle Wee. And she's still in with a chance.
Jenny Shin has it at the moment. But what she also has is her difficulties at the final hole. She's got an awkward little pitch from near the front bunker. She needs to make par and put the pressure on the Americans. Michelle Wee, Nelly Corder, Danielle Kang, and maybe Minji, Jin Young and Brooke. They're not out of it just yet either.
Jenny Shin now from off the green at the 18th. This is her third shot. Has a one-shot lead. Ooh. And she got away with that. She's on the green, but she's going to have a tough putt to save her par.
Well, who is going to be brave in amongst this group with this tight back left? Nelly is not. She's going to be short. She's going to be right. It's safe. But not what she's looking for in these closing stages.
Although, Sandy, because of what has happened at 18, and she doesn't know what's happened at 18, a par might be good enough. That might be the commercial play.
Michelle Wee watching this one closely. And she's not going to get that kick right. That's going to stay up in the second cut of rough.
Breezes into the line's okay. It won't be too bad.
If she can hold that, she's definitely in it. Danielle Kang, this seems to be the club. And that would have looked very good from the tee, just not quite the right club.
She went for it.
Yeah. As will Jin Young Ko. Not a lot wrong with that golf swing. It doesn't look like it's a golf swing that is going to break down under pressure anytime soon.
Such beautiful acceleration through the ball. Incredible tempo, Jin Young Ko.
She's just going to find herself on that right side of the fairway on a bit of a downslope. We've seen over previous days that it's an awkward second shot in. No easy pin placements at 18, as Jenny Shin is finding out. So this putt is for par. This to stay at 17 under. This to maintain the cushion she's got over the rest of the field. The win is not out of the question if this doesn't go in. But if it does, it'll bring her heart rate down about 20 beats per minute very quickly. Under it will be then, and what that effectively means is we have right now 4 joint leaders,
and it's going to be a very uncomfortable wait for Jenny Shin.
Good from that distance. Bearing in mind what's gone on, and she is not aware of what has gone on at 18. A par will be good enough for the time being, and then steel yourself and see if you can pick up your third birdie of the day at 18. We'll go back to the putting action at 17 shortly.
Hasn't been the best of weekends for Marina Alex. Put herself right in contention through 36 holes. Just couldn't quite bring it home.
I can't help thinking, Ali, that your words proved prophetic when she missed that putt at 15 yesterday, and you said it's very hard to get that out of your head, and it seemed to affect her on the way in, and maybe that carried through a little bit into Sunday.
As Danielle Kang stands over what is a really difficult putt here, she's just got over this bunker and there's quite a ridge in front of her. It's not an easy putt to make. They still have not changed the leaderboard behind, so the players are totally unaware of what's happened on 18.
Good enough from that range. The reason they haven't changed the leaderboard, of course, is because Jenny Shin hasn't putted in yet. But we know that it's going to be a 5 at best. Par for Jess Corder, and now it's going to be an anxious wait for her, not to see whether she wins or not, to see whether her little sister wins or not. 70 to close. Very good after last week and all the emotion and the effort that went into that. A 5 at the last. Will it be enough? First bogey of the day at a bad time. But there is still hope. As there is for Brooke Henderson. She might have had one or two hit the lip, but for the most part, they haven't really been as close as she would have liked them to be, all of these birdie opportunities.
Big shot for Michelle Wheat. Can afford to fade it in. This one hanging out a little bit. And hanging short. That is a real miscalculation in a critical moment.
All right, then the equation's simple for Brooke Henderson. Hole this, and then you have to make birdie at the last. It might not be enough anyway, but it gives her a little hope if she can make 3 at the final hole. As it stands, still 4 leaders. One's finished, one's playing the 18th, 2 are about to play the 18th. Then 18, then 12, then 18 if required. Jenny Shin, Michelle Wee, Nelly Korda, Danielle Kang, 16 under.
Danielle Kang just took a very long look at that leaderboard.
Minjee Lee, second shot at 18 on the way, needs a birdie to get into that four-way tie at the top of the leaderboard, and that is a great opportunity for her.
It's a good way to spend the time momentarily, just to keep your mind off what's going on. There must be so many thoughts spinning through her mind. Look at the serenity of that scene in the background. It's in heavy contrast to what we've seen on the golf course today. If it goes in, she leads. Wow! Go back to that moment at the US Open Championship in 2014 when she was crowned, and that reaction is on a par. Incredible. It was shades of Paula's reaction. Doesn't this tournament just come up with some phenomenal moments? And now Jenny Shin knows that victory will not be hers. But it still could be Nelly. It still could be Danielle.
Go get some and then come right back down.
Okay, sure.
Two left in it who can do something about it.
She must keep this high on the left-hand side, and she's doing that. Nice tail breeze behind these players, so part A of the equation out of the way for Nelly Korda.
Can safely say that's centre of the fairway.
And she needs it right now.
Another brilliant week from Jin Young Ko. It won't be a victory, but she's already got one of those this year. She had one at the end of last year, and she finishes at -15.
Good solid contact by Brooke Henderson. And again, this one's going to split the fairway. I tell you what, they know something happened down there. It was a heck of a roar up on the green.
Yeah, it wasn't just something, Sandy. It was something incredible. And so Brooke Henderson needs to hole her second shot to have any say in it. Minjee knows her fate is decided. And she too will finish at 15 under par, just as her playing companion Jin Young Ko does. Another good week for the Australian. She's been in rare form at the start of 2018. Not the victory today, though. What a moment for Michelle Wee.
Well done, Michelle. Well done, well done. Michelle, can you do it?
just wait for the 26-year-old to see what happens behind her now. But here's a moment that she will be replaying over and over in her mind. I thought she was almost going to do the Paula Creamer sprint there for a minute, and you wouldn't blame her if she did.
Moments like those are rare, but this championship has had its fair share of them.
She's not there just yet. She hasn't got her name on the trophy just yet. Nelly Korda and Danielle Kang can do something about it. They're on the final hole.
Danielle Kang needs a birdie at this last hole to tie her good friend Michelle Wie. Going to be hard to get close from that first cut of rough. But she has a chance.
And here's the only other one who can do something about it.
Good drive from Nelly here. Just 128 to get it to the flag. But again, you can see how difficult the ball is to stop on this green. So you need to land it short of the pin. Pin is only on 11. Breeze behind. And that is a little further right, but it might be okay. Got a good kick. Oh, game on.
Are you not entertained?
How about that big deep sigh from Nelly, thinking it's been one of those days where nothing really has caught fire at any stage, and maybe she's changed it at the most appropriate moment. She'll have that putt to get into a playoff. Danielle Kang will have a much more difficult putt to get into a playoff. And so the instruction from sister Brittany will be very simple to Brooke now. Hole it.
She's given herself the best possible chance. She has hit this over 300 yards off the tee. Just 90 yards to the front. Contact is good. It's got to stop. And when it does.
It's been a great week for Brooke Henderson. Unfortunately, it will fall just a little bit short. But at 20 years of age, there are many more wins in store for this young woman.
Let's make this for second.
Well, 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 the drama continues. How good are these players? Let's hear it for Nelly Korda, an emerging star on the LPGA, major champion Danielle Kang, and five-time winner on the LPGA Tour from Canada, Brooke Henderson.
And you just heard something out on the course there, Ali.
Brooke looked at Brittany and said, let's make this for second. Fighting till the end.
If you are just coming in, you have missed one of the more extraordinary days of women's golf that we've seen in quite a while. But the situation is this. Michelle Wie has holed a putt from off the green at 18 to get it to 17 under. Both this young woman, the 25-year-old from the United States, Danielle Kang, and her 19-year-old compatriot, Nelly Korda, have putts to force a playoff. Otherwise, Michelle Wie has career victory number 5. Her last one was in the US Open in 2014. Of the two, unquestionably, Nellie's putt is the more makeable.
Of course, Danielle Kang is still in here with a chance, as much as it is a very difficult green, but it is makeable. Should be a little bit of left to right swing from where she is, or probably quite a lot of left to right swing. That is coming up the hill because it does run from front to back, this green, but she could also put herself right in the mix again.
Two days ago, she went around this place in 64 and equalled Inbee Park's tournament record. She was flawless for 50 holes, not a bogey on the card until late yesterday. This putt for birdie. This to force a playoff. Brooks said, let's get it in for second. It may in fact be for third, depending on what Nellie does in a moment. But one way or the other, it's been a really strong performance from the young Canadian. At 16 under, Brooke Henderson falls one short. Blemish free in the final round, so many chances along the way. So it all comes down to this. She comes from an incredible sporting family. Let's see if she can draw on those bloodlines and that pedigree. To force a playoff. Michelle Wee has her 5th career victory. A hug from her mother. An incredible way to do it. Tears of joy and relief at the same time.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
Yet again, this tournament has produced an incredible moment. Nellie Corder knocks it in for par at the final hole and finishes at -16. A round of 71, like Brooke Henderson. Opportunities along the way, but she just couldn't convert them.
Great, man.
We've got a worthy champion, and not only that, we've got another HSBC moment that we're never going to forget.
1,355 days since her last victory. Michelle Wee at this event, which springboarded her year in 2017. as we watch her best friend finish out. It won't be enough, but still a fitting end to the week for Danielle Kang. Brilliance was needed, and 70 today just wasn't enough.
And if it wasn't going to be her, she'll be the happiest that she can be that it was Michelle Wee. What an exceptional conclusion it turned out to be. Jenny Shin coming from nowhere. Marina Alex amongst the first to congratulate the champion.
Great job. There's a Coke.
And there's Jess, best friend and big sis. A consoling arm. And no doubt saying, well, you didn't win, but you should be proud of yourself, what you've done at 19 years of age. And at 20 years of age, Brooke Henderson just behind her. There's the future right there. And how often have they said that about Michelle Wee and her golfing journey? There's the future right there. And all of the things that were placed on her shoulders. 12 months ago, she led the field into the final round and everybody thought she might win the HSBC tournament then. It took another 12 months, but boy, that was worth the wait.
And then some. You'd wait a decade for that finish. Thankfully, we haven't had to since the finish with Paula Creamer in 2014. There is something about this event that produces the exceptional. And that's exactly what Michelle Wee produced on the final hole.
An exceptional 65, an exceptional 65th shot for the day. Takes Michelle Wee to victory. Jenny Shin also had a 65, but unfortunately for her, it was a bogey at the last that would cost her any chance of holding up the trophy. Nelly Corder, Danielle Kang and Brooke Henderson, magnificent in their efforts, just one shot back. Minjee Lee and Jin Young Ko at 15 under. Well worth another look. The moment of the week. I wonder what chance she gave herself of holding that. It was so difficult. The 18th has been so difficult all the way throughout the week. Only 5 people today were able to make birdie at the last, and Michelle was one of them. How good is that reaction? So she adds a victory to those at the Lorena Ochoa Invitational in 2009, the Canadian Open in 2010, the Lotte Championship in 2014, and that US Open Championship in 2014 as well.
What a day for Michelle Wee. Fantastic putt there on the 18th hole to claim this championship. But what it does do is it moves her to second in the race to the CME Globe. Just there behind Jin Young Ko, but whole host of players right there chasing her down. Brittany Lincecum, Jessica and Nelly Corder also had a fantastic day today. And we're going to go out to the presentation. Kate Burton will be hosting.
such a nail-biting finish. Once again, this championship delivers. And this is the 11th staging of the HSBC Women's World Championship. And we are delighted to have the support of HSBC. So it's only fitting that we hear now from the Chief Executive Officer, Tony Cripps, to say a few words.
Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, over the past 4 days, we've witnessed the very best of golf, and of course today's exhilarating playoff, right down to the wire between Michelle and Danielle, Nelly Corder and Jenny Shin. Couldn't have been more exciting, and it's truly a fitting close to the championship that has now earned the reputation as Asia's major. This year is a special for the tournament as we presented its new name, the HSBC Women's World Championship. The powerhouse lineup that took to the field the past 4 days just reinforced how apt this is. We had an all-star field, including the world's top 10 ranked players, world-class greens here at the Sentosa Golf Club Tanjong course, and of course, thousands of enthusiastic fans. So on behalf of all of us at HSBC, thank you to all the fans for supporting this premier golf tournament. HSBC's Women's World Championship 2018 has what many will say is the best field that's ever been assembled for any professional run golf tournament here in Singapore. So I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to all the players. Your talent and professionalism is truly remarkable. And it is with admiration that I now offer my congratulation to not just one, but of course, but 3 runners-up, Danielle Kang, Nelly Corder and Jenny Shin, right down to the wire. The skill and sportsmanship that you have shown over the past 4 days contributes to making this tournament such a huge success, so many thanks. And to our champion, Michelle Wee, what an outstanding performance. Watching you play over the course of the tournament has been a real pleasure, and it is an honour to call you our 2018 HSBC Women's World Champion. Please. As I said, the calibre of the field this year is one of the most competitive in the LPGA Tour calendar, and your victory, of course, is no easy feat. We began our sponsorship here over 11 years ago, and this tournament supports our ambition to open the world of golf to a wider audience. Today, the HSBC Women's World Championship is a highlight in the sporting calendar, and we're extremely proud of what it has become. It is HSBC's pleasure to host the HSBC Women's World Championship here at the Tanjong course. So a big thank you to Andy Johnson and his team at Sentosa Golf Club for their hard work ensuring the course and facilities were ready to provide a truly memorable experience to the golfers and to the fans. Thank you to our long-term partner IMG, co-sponsors and the many volunteers who have made this tournament such a huge success. And of course, lastly, to the thousands of fans. Your enthusiasm infused the start of 2018 with this great energy for this tournament, and I hope you are as thrilled as we were to see the best women golfers compete at the HSBC Women's World Championship. Many thanks. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Tony. And I think it's only fitting now we hear from our champion. So, Michelle, come over. Let's have a chat. I mean, they're in the way of your putt here.
I was just looking at it.
Congratulations. What an emotional victory.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know what's going on right now still. My head's running at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I don't think there was a person here around the 18th, and sure, for all the millions of people watching at home, that didn't leap out of their seat when they saw that putt go in.
I was definitely not leaving it short, that's for sure.
Now, you started the day 5 back. Did you think you had a realistic chance of winning?
You know, I wanted to. I wanted really badly to win, especially what happened last year. You know, I kind of had some unfinished finish here. And I just knew if I shot, 7, 8 under, I'd have a chance. And that was my one and only goal.
But the scoring was good. There were players coming in. We had 62s earlier, 63, so you knew the score was there for the taking. But given what was at stake, how proud of you of what you've just achieved?
I'm so proud of me, my caddy, and my entire team. It's been a while since I stood up here, so it feels pretty good. But it feels great.
Your last win you had was a major championship, the 2014 US Open. This must count very highly in your decorated career. Your 5th win now on the LPGA.
Yes, for sure. Like you said, you know, we consider this to be Asia's major. HSBC has been such a great supporter of women's golf, and they always have a world-class event. And for me to win this event, it just means the world to me.
And how did you cope with this heat?
It's hot. I don't think I'm coping.
You're glowing right now. You're a winner. Anybody else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank HSBC, like I said, for hosting this tournament and supporting us for many, many years. The Singapore Tourism Board. Singapore is definitely one of my favorite spots to be. Definitely go shopping today. I'd like to thank Sentosa Development Corporation, Sentosa Golf Club, and all the co-sponsors, Rolex, Singapore Airlines, Ricoh, Fairmont, the LPGA officials, IMG, and volunteers in Marshall. I mean, it was not cool out here. It was really warm, and for us to play, it was difficult. So I can only imagine how difficult it was to volunteer, and I really appreciate the effort and all the fans that stuck out here. I don't know how you guys watch golf in this heat, but thank you so much for supporting me all 4 days. My family, my friends, my caddy. It was a great read on 18. And my coach, David Ledbetter, and my sponsors, Nike, Callaway, Omega, and MGM. Thank you for never stop believing in me. This is a great moment, and this is a great moment for our family.
Well, congratulations. Played like a champion and spoke like a champion as well. Michelle Wie. Well, if I can please ask Tony to step forward and present Michelle with this magnificent trophy. It's a gentle task. But this is our champion in 2018, the HSBC Women's World Champion, Michelle Wie.
And if we can have you on the other side of the show, please. Just present you. Michelle, take it back in the middle, please. Back in the middle, please.
And in addition to winning the trophy, she will also win $225,000 US for her efforts this week, and as well as a beautiful necklace, which is the Hibiscus syriacus, the national flower of Korea. And that is in recognition of Im Park's efforts last year when she won this championship on the new Tanjong course. But how about this for a fairy tale finish, nail-biting all the way to the very end, an enormous putt across the 18th green for Michelle Wie's 5th win on tour. You were all part of it. You tuned her every step of the way. We are delighted that you could join us. Thank you very much for being here. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you again.
What a memorable moment, what a great acceptance speech from Michelle. I think she is still in a state of shock, a state of disbelief. I think a few of us are. 28 years of age. That was memorable. That was brilliant. It was mesmerising.
Those are the kind of moments that make the early tee times, the long flights, the blisters, the injuries that she's endured. Cast your minds back to the US Open last year when she was withdrawing with a sore neck. The emergency appendectomy last year, but it was all worthwhile.
So it was worth the wait, and so was the celebration. It's been a magnificent week here in Singapore. The Asian swing, the early Asian swing comes to an end. On behalf of our team, Peter Donegan saying farewell from the new Tanjong course at Sentosa Golf Club in Singapore. We hope you've enjoyed the 2018 edition of the HSBC Women's World Championship. And if I can slightly alter the words of the late and great Freddie Mercury, we is the champion.